Present. Madam Clerk, would you please announce the number present?
23 present, 2 absent.
Okay, thank you. To have a quorum. Now, the next item on the agenda is consideration of the minutes from the previous meeting. You received those in your packet, and for purposes of any discussion, do we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes? We have a motion and second. Now, do we have any discussion? Hearing no discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please proceed to the vote? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Anyone like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
23 yes votes.
Item number 4, consideration of the reports of commission committees. Madam Clerk, would you please move to item number 4? Bring the proposed reports to the floor for the action to be taken. Do I have a motion and a second? We have a motion and a second to approve the commission committee minutes. Do we have any discussion or questions concerning those minutes? Or hearing no discussion, Madam Clerk, would you please move to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Would any commissioner like to change the vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
23 yes votes.
Okay, next is consideration of the reports of the various departments, officials, and divisions of Sevier County. And I will, at this time, entertain a motion to approve those reports subject to any question you might have. So, Madam Clerk, if you would please move the voting screen to the reports of the various officials, divisions, and departments. We have a motion and a second to approve those. So now, do we have any discussion or questions concerning any of the reports? You see that listing of reports from officials, Community Planning and Development, Division of Emergency Services, Division of Facilities, Division of Finance Administration, Division of Governmental Services, Tourism Communications, and other departments, and then the state offices. All of those are included in the reports that you have in your packet. Any questions concerning any of the reports that have been included? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Would anyone like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
23 yes votes.
Various reports have been adopted. We are on item number 6 now, which is our public comment. First is public comment on agenda items. We had no request, anyone, excuse me, today to speak to the commission. So next is the public hearing on rezoning requests, and we do have one zoning request. It's noted in Resolution 2024-0801, and I will now open the public hearing, and you can please step to the podium, give us your name. The individual has 3 minutes to speak, so I will now open the floor for the public hearing on the zoning request. We have anyone in the audience that would like to speak concerning the zoning request? And this request is on for partial 112.01.00 from A1 to Z1, rezoning tax map 02. Planning Commission has recommended it, and it is located on Asheville Highway in Strawberry Plains. Anyone have comment? Hearing none, I will close that portion of the public hearing, and we'll now move to item number 7, which is consideration of Resolution 2024-0801, which amends the zoning resolution, as I said earlier, by rezoning tax map 2, parcel 112.00 from A1 agricultural to C1 rural commercial, 722 Asheville Highway. The Sevier County Planning Commission recommended 4. Madam Clerk, would you please move to the voting screen? Have a motion and a second to approve the rezoning. Mr. Temple, do you have any comment concerning the rezoning? Any questions or comments concerning the rezoning? Okay, hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please move to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Anyone like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
23 yes votes.
Now moving to item number 8, which is consideration of Resolution 2024-0802 to confirm the appointment of various members to the Sevier County Regional Planning Commission. Madam Clerk, would you please move to the voting screen? Commissioners, you have that before you. These have been recommended by the steering committee. John Rulapal, who would be replacing Jimmy Hicks, who resigned, and Jasper Rowland, who is replacing Mr. Jack McMahon, who resigned. Those are the 2 appointments that have been recommended by myself and the steering committee. Do we have any questions or comments? We have a motion and a second to approve the resolution. Hearing none, Madam Clerk, would you please move to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you please cast your votes? Anyone like to change their vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, would you please announce the vote?
23 yes votes.
Resolution been properly adopted. Item number 9, consideration of Resolution 2024-0803, adopt and establish this Sevier County Stormwater Authority. And Madam Clerk, could you please move to that resolution, 24-0803? We have a motion and a second to approve that, and that is coming as a recommendation from our Stormwater Department, and I'll recognize its director, Mr. Claybo, if he'll come and just want to speak briefly to the resolution. don't think your microphone's on.
And the other thing, I know Dad, he looked at the commission and he looked at you all as friends first. And I do appreciate, he was getting pretty feeble those last couple of years, and I could always count on somebody being there, to give him a helping hand, sort of watch out for him. And that meant a lot to me, because I know we was kind of struggling along the last couple of years there, and it was difficult for him. But he loved the service, and working with everybody, and I sure appreciate, I could count on just any of y'all to help him along, and that meant a lot. Thanks to Mr. David Carver, we've got a few changes to do with our stormwater regulations. It's been about 5 years since we've done any changes, and the EPA, in their wisdom, have came up with some additional requirements that some of these we've kind of put off for a while. One of the things the state wanted us to do, they wanted the county and the cities, since we're all under the same permit, they wanted our ordinances to sort of line up, and we've changed some of the language so that they kind of line up. The other thing with this, the runoff reduction requirements, we've kind of put that off for some time now, but it's coming our way, and we've got to get this to meet our requirements of our permit. So that's kind of where we're at with this, and if anybody got any questions, just I'll answer them. Thank y'all.
Mr. Claybo.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. 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 You get that potato patch going down there, I won't even come around till they're ready to harvest. And I'll let you pick them up before I come. Thank you.
Okay. We have a motion second to approve the resolution. Do we have any further discussion or questions? Before we go into that, I'll mention I had a note here to talk about Commissioner Claybo at the end of the meeting, but since Doyle mentioned it, I want to just say that I personally, Ben Claybo has been a friend of mine for many, many years, and he served on this commission for 56 years. I think he's the longest serving commissioner. One of the longest serving in the state, was recognized for that a few years ago by the Tennessee County Services Organization, and Ben contributed a great deal to this county, to its progress over the years, and in particularly since he became chairman of the Budget Committee in 1982 and served until he retired in 2022. So he's been a big part of what's went on in Sevier County, and I told him that at the time he retired, and continued to tell him that afterward. And certainly I relied a great deal, as a lot of people relied, on his advice and counsel in many different areas. You could always depend on him. So we certainly miss Ben, miss his presence, and we recognized him when he left, but wanted to say, as I've said to Doyle and the family, that certainly on behalf of the commission has our condolences, but in addition to that, let him know that he's certainly missed in this county because of the contributions he made. But I did want to say that. Had a note to say it at the end, but I thought it was appropriate to say it after Doyle mentioned that. Any other comments or questions? not, Madam Clerk, would you advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you cast your votes? Anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change a vote, Madam Clerk, please announce the vote.
23 yes votes.
Okay, resolution has been properly adopted. We are down to notaries, Madam Clerk.
We have 48 notaries.
Advance to the voting screen on notaries. We have a motion and second to approve that. Do we have any questions? You have a listing of the notaries in your packet. Hearing none. Madam Clerk, would you advance to the voting screen? Commissioners, would you cast your vote? Anyone like to change your vote? Hearing no request to change the vote, Madam Clerk, please announce the vote.
23 yes votes.
Okay, notaries are adopted. Just a couple of things before we get into the last item. I want to announce to you that on Friday, August 23rd at 11 a.m., we're going to have an open house at the Centerview Convenience Center. So, commissioners, if you'd like to come up there and tour that before we open it and see, it's a very nice center. I want to commend Matt Rutter, who has sort of spearheaded that. Matt's done a great job on that center, and you're encouraged to come at 11 a.m. and
Mr. Chairman, I thought
Okay.
Commissioner Whaley was spearheading that.
Commissioner Whaley, well, he's also spearheaded it, so we can express appreciation to him on behalf of the commission and Commissioner Atchley, who brought that up, Commissioner Whaley. But anyway, you are invited to that. The other thing I wanted to say is that this is Commissioner Melissa Godfrey's last meeting. As you know, we had an election, and I want to thank her for her service, and hopefully we'll have an opportunity to do a little more maybe at the next meeting. But thank you for your service, and I know it's been a difficult time for you, and certainly you continue to be in my prayers and the prayers of this commission. So thank you. Now, we're down to public comment.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to recognize, and I think per the rules, I'm going to entertain a motion to recognize Jennifer Jeffers. She's here to talk tonight about a program. I don't think I'm misspeaking, but anyway, she's here tonight to talk about a program she's starting. So I'd like to let her explain why she's here. She wasn't sure what the correct procedures go about it.
I'll second the motion. Okay, we've got two commissioners requested you speak, and so I'm going to, as chairman, I'm going to allow that, ma'am.
All right. Well, thank you. Can you hear me all?
Yes.
All right. My name's Jennifer Jeffers. I've been an educator in Sevier County for 25 years. I'm a special education teacher for 20 years. Before that, I worked for Becky Bees and ran her school for a while. Some of you might remember the days when Becky Barnes had a daycare. I've worked with all ages. I have a master's degree in human services, and I want to bring something to your attention that I think you need to know about. We have a major problem in Sevier County, and I'm going to give you a few examples of how it is threatening lives that you might not even know about. A young lady named Deja worked at Ollie's. Because she aged out of the children's home, she had nowhere to go, so we took her into our home. For about 8 months, she was a wonderful employee. In order to get her state services for lifelong learning for the rest of her life, because she needed that, she had to move out of our county. Therefore, we lost another employee. A young man named Thomas was a full-time employee at the Wilderness. In order to get the services he needed, because he was sure he was grown and he had to move out of his house, he had to move to Chattanooga, so his family had to travel to see him. We lost another great employee. A year ago, a young man named Peyton took his own life because life was too rough at home, And us in Sevier County, we don't have anything to offer them. They have to leave our county to get lifelong supports. This is Eric. He works 5 days a week and is a model employee. Both him and his parents would like him to live in a supportive living home and be more independent. He deserves it and they deserve it. He may have to leave our county in order to reach his goals in life. This is Mikey. He works at a yogurt shop. He really wants to live with a roommate. His home is not a happy place. He has to stay in his room when he is home. And we can help him reach his goals. This lady has wonderful supportive parents. Maddie wants her own place to live. And she's pretty spicy, so home isn't a great place right now because she wants some independence, and she deserves it. This is Tony. Tony was one of our best employees that we had. 6 years ago, I taught him. He had a great, great career. For 2 years, he was one of the best employees that the Wilderness had as in housekeeping. His life was awful. No running water, no windows, no very abusive parents, physically, mentally, and financially. Because the only services to help him were more than a county away, he could never get to it. He's been homeless for more than a year. We are creating a homeless population. Across Tennessee, excluding Sevier County, long-term services are available for our students and our young adults and adults with intellectual disabilities. Funding is available. We can do better. Educators as a whole and parents, we continue to do the best, and some of our parents, as you know, aren't doing a good job. We're creating homelessness, and we are moving them all the way to Memphis. Sometimes they have to move to get housing because the priorities get that in their own county. So I think that we can do better. I know there's a solution. I've been in it now for 10 years. I know a lot of our businesses. I know a lot of the dots, and I'm just here to say we need to connect them. We can do better. The funding is available through TennCare, and we pay for it. We should have the services here to keep them here. We raise them here, and then we have to make them leave their community that they know. So please help us. We're doing a good job in education, and then we're missing the mark. And this isn't a few. This is just a few of hundreds that I brought because they're current in my life right now. That's all I had to say, and I hope that we can meet further on this wherever that's appropriate because I don't know politics. I'm just a passionate educator. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Any other business to come before the commission? Yes. Yes, Mr. Temple.
Thank you, Mayor. Commissioners, to give you a brief update on the Bead Challenge program. So that is there's a portion of that has ended recently, end of July 19th, 20th, I believe. And with that was to allow that people had been able to submit where their homes were or maybe their businesses were, that the old map said that there was internet at their address, but they did not have the internet. So with that, they were able to go in, and when you look at the map and see it, the areas that they really focused on, and this was the service providers in the area such as Comcast and Spectrum. So Jones Cove, out towards the lake around the Allensville, Alder Branch area, DuPont, and also up Newport Highway and Wares Valley, kind of like our unreached outer areas of the community. Those were hit very hard with hundreds of homes in each one of those areas. So now what the next step will be is once the providers have had a chance to go in and review those cases and make sure that yes, it is correct, it wasn't just something that was inadvertently missed or put in the system incorrectly. At that point, the internet services, like I said, Charter, Spectrum, et cetera, they'll be able to get those funds from the state and go out to those communities where they already are out to a certain point, because they're in the city limits, of course. They're out into the county some, but they'll be able to go to those points in the community where they currently are at their furthest and be able to expand from there. And just as a reminder, once this community or those services get those funds, they have a 3-year plan, or they have a 3-year target that they have to meet the demands from the state on that, and with the money that they spend to go to those homes. And if they don't, those companies have to repay the funds plus a penalty. I believe it's like a 25% additional penalty on doing that. So we're really thinking that once that comes out here, probably early 2025, that they'll have those funds and they'll be able to get out to the rest of our community. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other business? We have a motion to adjourn. We have a motion second. Everybody in favor of adjourning, please rise. We're adjourned.